Hello, it's a sad note actually as a citizen to see what is happening in the country. You know, away from political sagas, we have now more coming into the cyber level. Just a moment after Kenya introduced cybercrime act, now we have the cyber hacking. Is this a thing by the government or is it from outside? Because there is a time I remember TSC had a lot of challenges, and something happened to the TSC house that used to be in Nairobi city. And under investigation, it happened that this was a plan set by some few people. And of course, we've known so many times whereby if people think that there is a house that has a certain document that are sensitive, they even conduct arson so that the blame is done away with. If people want to steal money from a nation, they can actually hack its system, then steal and then claim it was stolen out of the hacking. Of course, we will qualify because I'm trying to look at that, and we know very well the major ICT leaders and what happened even during election, guys. Vifaranga business. So when I saw this today, I just thought of so many possibilities. And maybe I would urge you to drop your comments in the comment section as we go through this 1 hour moment with you. All right, so where do we start? I don't even know where to start, guys. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether to start from the Millie Ojambo's testimony that ODM at 20 is actually willing to collaborate with a partner. You know, she was very genuine to say that, and this is something I've been talking about, that even though Millie Ojambo is talking about they will not support broad-based government, that is the real picture of what is coming out, if you may ask me. And possibly, of course, they can't have another candidate. ODM will offer the vice president while UDA offers the president, and individuals from different parties have to sacrifice. Some people who are not happy with the arrangement automatically will have to walk away. But the reality is that when you look at ODM and UDA from what was happening in Mombasa, it's very clear. It's very clear. Everybody, even the blind, or rather the visually impaired, can see the situation without necessarily having to put on the lens. All right? So let's get to hear the conversation between Millie Ojambo and NTV Fixing the Nation.
To go that way. And it's a reality that we may lose some of them. We will go forward with, yeah? And I can say many good things about the both sides, and I can raise challenges with both sides. Let me not say, but I can say a lot of things, both sides. So as ODM, we will make that decision. But whichever way we go through, we will understand that there are people who have walked this journey with us. If, for instance, we decide to move forward with the president, there are people who have walked this journey with us who may not want us to go that way. And it's a reality that we may lose some of them. But we may also convince some of them why maybe the other side may not be the better option. Because as many of us have said, we form governments, or rather we form parties to get into government. But it is not getting into government at all costs. No. I think the language I've had some of us speak, it's like we must get in at all costs. No, we will not get in at all costs. But we will work hard, we will negotiate, we will put forward our agenda so that we may get into a government, next government, or form the next government. Either with our candidate, as a presidential candidate with ODM, if we get a candidate that is sellable, or supporting another. And in support...
Automatically, you see now what is happening right there. So when she says automatically, support another, you understand the mathematics here. Of course, ODM has seen a very easy way in actually having Ruto as their candidate. That's what I can say without blinking, and you can take that to the bank, actually. The reality is that ODM members, since Baba went, they really trusted that the only person who could make maybe decisions for them was Baba. So after Baba's death, most of them are confused, just like Winnie Odinga said the other day in Mombasa. And out of this confusion, many are willing actually to give up on ODM and by force, by fire, be in government. Of course, for the past 20 years, ODM has just been outside. You can see it's only the past 2 years that they have been part of government. And I think this excitement has led to jubilation for Jubilee, or rather UDA. And I can assure you that with no further ado, because ODM was telling us that their candidate Arati is preparing for 2032. Even Sifuna preparing for 2032 and not 2027. So what automatically they are trying to tell us, and that's why yesterday I kept asking, how can you be as a party declaring to be strong, ready to actually go to a table with to fight for shares, but at the same time, you are saying we are either part or in government. That is clearly a signal that ODM seem to think they are weak after Baba's death. And they think that they are not ready to pick someone else. And that is the problem with a party operating over years just by relying on one person. And this reliance on Baba actually made ODM the most orphaned party in Kenya, so that after the passing on, they were totally confused. And of course, with in the moment of fear and that moment of orphanage, most of them just had to find a father in RUTO, unfortunately. And so even as most of them are telling us that they don't support what the government is doing, they can't escape that blame. They are part of the government currently because they have told us many times that ODM is part of the broad-based government. So if they are broad-based government, then they should be also sitting down and focusing on development and rather helping Ruto actually attain the goals that he set in UDA. Because of course, we had during the funeral, and also there was a certain meeting where we had the president telling us that the aspects of UDA were no longer different from ODM, and that when they sat with Baba, they realized that the two had same initiatives. And now, remember recently, we had the declaration by by Ruto, that he wants to make Kenya a first world country. Now we have to look at several things. For Kenya to become a first world country, we must have self-reliant industrialization, whereby industries are all ours, and we are producing and adding value, then exporting rather than importing. Of course, we have coffee in Kenya, we have sugarcane, we have pyrethrum, we have sunflowers, we have a lot of animals, therefore we have skin and hides. We have, I can talk about when you go to Kerio Valley, we have a lot of minerals right there. Ikolomani, they have discovered gold. If you go to Taita Taveta, we have a lot of minerals, green garnet and red garnet, among others. And you go to which other place? So if at all we have to aim to be a first world country, then talk about industrialization. Bakar Batala, welcome in the house. Thank you so much for showing up on the chat. You are the first to show up on the chat, but the rest of us who are watching, please like the video as we continue with the discussion. So when I look at that, then I'm asking myself, if at all this country, as President was saying, we have to move Olowa Didi Odepo, you welcome in the house. I already did 2 live streams and I'm on the 3rd one today. I was able to do earlier because there was power, and I also wanted to finish early so that I can rest. For the last 3 days I've been working so late, and today I'm very fine. As you can see, I'm shining and I hope you're also fine. Batala Bakr is from Uganda. I saw Museveni actually doing his campaigns in Uganda today. And how is it? I hope everything is fine. How about our Bobby Wine? How is everything with Bobby Wine? I hope everything is also fine with him. The other day he was blocked from infiltrating some parts of Uganda, but I hope that by now everything is well. The last live stream I talked about Nigeria, Odepoju. I hope you will watch it and see what I did over there, discussing matters Nigeria, Senegal, and Ethiopia. And thank you so much for showing up. I'm really appreciative. Guys, I can't offer much than just to tell you thank you for now, because you are really coming in big time for me. Whenever I come to a live stream, I don't miss at least 1,000 of you watching my video, which is such a good signal for me as a YouTuber who is just growing with almost 3,200 subscribers, targeting 4,000 subscribers. So I continue to encourage you to like, share, comment, and also subscribe to the channel as we continue growing slowly by slowly. And with God's grace, we will get where we want to be, and we will be a different platform all the same. So when I was just looking at Millie Ojambo's discussion and also relating to what happened in Mombasa in the 20-year celebration for ODM, and I was like, yeah, there is something here that is coming up. And so I was saying, ODM should now sit down with the UDA and try to resolve the problems that are unsolved. And especially when you look at the agenda that our president is pushing, indicating that he wants to change our nation overnight and make it better. Now, looking at industrialization, I already have shared. Then coming to agriculture, of course, we have to be a nation which can produce surplus food and also export some. Yeah, like when it comes to fruits like avocados, mangoes, and I've lived in the coast and eastern region of Kenya, that is Kibwezi, Kitui, and the places like Machakos. Those places are very good for mangoes, as well as coast, especially when you look at from Kwale to Kilifi up to Taita Taveta. So if we are serious about planting of mangoes, for example, we can harvest lots of mangoes from Kenya, and we have varieties that still do well in western part of Kenya, that is western part. And then, of course, Nyanza, we have a region also that does very well with mangoes and avocados. So avocados can do so well depending on the varieties. If we have the big variety, I've seen they do very well in Homa Bay. I've seen them doing very well in Usenge and all those areas. When you come to production of size, it does very well in Ukambani and Taita Taveta. And we have so many other products we can produce so that we have enough for ourselves and surplus. When it comes to maize, I think we just have to boost on how to enhance our production, and then everything will be set. And then beans, of course, has been a challenge because it needs very careful kind of farming, right? And rice can be boosted in, the Mwea side, Pekera schemes, and then coming to Awendo and Awasi. So when even Busia, currently there are people who are planting rice. There is some agricultural kind of rice. Groundnuts can do very well in western part. That is Kakamega, Bungoma, Busia. And then we have a variety that was also planted in Olkalahu and the rest of the central part. When you come to green grams, they do very well in Taita Taveta, and I've also seen in Ukambani. So what am I saying? That ODM and UDA should not continue speaking. We are tired with their speeches. We want them to go to the ground and work for us, give us the result that we require actually. And because the incumbent president is actually in the collaboration of UDA and ODM, we don't want him to keep campaigning and talking, using figures, using flowery language, talking about housing. Because as far as they'll talk about housing, the many years that they'll force me to actually squeeze my money and give, all I want is my house. I want to build my house, whether it's through credit or whatever, a house that I call my house. Rental houses that I call my rental houses. I don't want the government houses because they are not going to add value on me. My children will not inherit those houses. So it is what it is. Even if they preach 100 times, and I'm not an NGO actually to be deducted money so that it goes to some houses that will help people and also contribute towards health like that. We are suffering ourselves as workers. Our salaries are not good. We are struggling. Sometimes you take take loans that are going to go for 10 years. 10 good years down the line. So how can I help another person when myself I'm struggling to help myself through loans? It doesn't add value at all. Because if they are borrowing to build, how is that a project that you can really call a powerful project? Jeusa Hamisi, welcome in the house. I appreciate your presence here. And so Millie Ojambo continued to speak, and I was listening to everything. And she was clearly just saying that there is a collaboration that is forthcoming. An intelligent person would understand that. So that is what he said.
We then will ask, what is in it for us? And I had somebody, the senator for Nandi,
saying some seats are locked out.
Yeah, as seats are locked out. I don't want to talk too much about especially coming from him. But I can tell you for a fact, the moment you say that, our antenna goes up. Because even as much as we want to support another government, we are not supporting a government so that we can be village elders, as he was saying. Because I don't need the support of any government to be a village elder. That I can do without any help. I'm not seeking to support any government so that I can be, have a CS. We are already there. I mean, we already have two. We probably would have wanted, because ODM is wide. We have from coast to western. We have Kisses. Would want to have a more inclusive face for us as ODM, or people who support us, even in government. So yes, we will look at all those issues. But as out of now, and somebody said, when are we selling the ODM? We are not selling ODM, not anytime soon, but we will work. And I want to tell some of our supporters, it could go left, it could go right, in terms of what you desire. And if it doesn't go really the way you want, it's not because we disregard you. It's just the nature of politics.
It may just be how it is.
It's just the way it is.
Nature of politics of Kenya, guys. I get ashamed at this. When I look at Kenyan politics as a brokerage, it just merely becomes a brokerage kind of table, whereby now people use it to get where they want to be. Because what is Millie Ojambo telling us? That it may go to left or right, and if it goes to left where many citizens don't want, they should not blame them, but they should understand them. Really? Like as a citizen should understand that a party which they have really supported for years is there to broker itself and just gain power. Okay, have some few people gaining some positions like vice president, maybe CS. Automatically, that's what we are overseeing. Because if they are going to collaborate with RUTO in Kenya Kwanza and he has his own people, that's automatically what's going to happen. And so ODM will have been watered down. It will no longer exist. And that is what exactly we have said for long, that ODM is dying slowly. And we are seeing that death coming soon. As far as Millie Ojambo is telling us that they are not going to sell ODM soon, but I think they have already started selling it, because we saw how Mbadi spoke strongly, saying that in past they used to be on the streets protesting against injustices and all that, but currently they are now doing it in boardrooms. You got that statement right in Mombasa, right? All right. Now let's get to today. Of course, there is a Kikuyu station that Gachagua went to explaining why he never attended Raila Odinga's funeral. And after that, RUTO responded to that. And I want to just look at that before we can go further into today's attack on the systems of the government.
It can help you, when moving around Nairobi. You tell somebody jump, let alone judges. And so I had to make effort to appear here today. And especially when you have one of our own, Judge Isaac, as the chair. And I want to say that you couldn't get a better chair. Isaac was a heart's boy, because I was last week in his hometown. I don't know whether I call it hometown or home village. And I can confirm that he understands a few things about migration, because as a pastoralist, there is a lot of migration following livestock and of the world. This progressive legal framework reflects our belief that refugees should not live indefinitely in camps, but as active participants in their host societies. A single nation can shoulder it alone. If Kenya's open door policy reflects our heart, then the rule of law is the backbone that sustains it and consistent decision making. But as you are all aware, evidence and credibility remain major challenges in refugee adjudication and to protect vulnerable groups such as refugees and migrants. Integrity ensures that the systems protect those in genuine need, resist manipulation, and commands the trust of both refugees and people coming from our continent, that is in Africa, to facilitate greater movement of people.
So guys, you remember the president came up with a clearing way that would ease people from getting IDs and voters cards and what have you. And there is a lot of uproar that came out of that, individuals feeling that it was not suitable and all that. I don't know what you think about this. As far as we are actually untightening those requirements, should they really be made an easy ticket to just people now getting to settle in Kenya? I don't know. I don't know what that would mean, but there is a sort of problem, because now look at a situation whereby vetting is not happening anymore. All right, so there's no vetting. So anyone gets IDs and documents, and that does not happen if I go to Tanzania or Uganda or Zimbabwe or whichever other country. It doesn't happen to me like that. But there's high possibility that in Kenya, something of this sort is going to happen, actually, Yeah? Now, let's just check here.
Formal education. And again, there was a very big debate. I remember Professor Ogot, then he was Vice Chancellor of Moi University, writing a very long piece on the newspaper and saying how I was going the wrong direction, and that I was trying to elevate plumbing and carpentry and all to the status of a university. But today again, I'm very proud that we have all realized that STEM is the space where we are going to get the leadership of the future. That's where we're going to generate engineers, that's where we're going to generate the scientists of the future, and that's where we're going to generate all the people who will not only acquire knowledge, but apply that knowledge in a much more practical way. Is above all a celebration of partnership, government and private sector working together to ensure high standards, broaden opportunities, and train graduates who contribute meaningfully to national progress. Greater University stands as a compelling remote areas. It is not right that a student comes to do an exam in a laboratory for the first time they are entering a laboratory. So it is very important that we close the gaps in those spaces. And number three, we have now changed the university funding model. Instead of focusing on the institutions, we decided to focus on the student. Now we have a student-focused university funding model so that we assess every student on the basis of merit and on the basis of ability. Into the education sector. This year, Uganda, we are at 702 billion shillings. We have, because it is, many people may not know, but that is the biggest asset that we have as a country. And we are lucky that we have literally the best human capital you can find anywhere in the world that will guide structured, high-quality online learning across all our universities. Research and innovation must remain the foundation.
Of course, when you listen to the president, everything looks very, very golden and classy. But when it comes to practical analysis, that is where I get to have a problem. Because as this model, for example, the model of supporting education looks rosy, why is it that currently still there are students who are struggling? You know, when you talk about ability and the aspect of background as a model of financing, sometimes it looks like when you look at someone and say, this one is a child of a peasant farmer, this one is a child of a teacher, it looks so rosy, but the reality is that we have farmers who hide information about how much they earn. They earn more than even that teacher. So when you look at that ability and look at the fact that the daughter of a teacher or daughter of a police is not going to be funded equally as the peasant farmer, this word peasant farmer, sometimes it's just a coverage, but the reality is that we have peasant farmers who are rich, very affluent, because they harvest maybe 100 sacks of maize. They are able to sell and survive. But this teacher who is only relying on salary is not able to afford a life that they are supposed to have. But these mathematics sometimes don't work. When you look at the thing which we are told that now universities have virtual spaces to enhance ICT, I look at it and also wonder, because I've been at KU University even for my first degree and for the second degree. And what happens is that you look around that virtual space that is provided, it's not enough. You have to solicit for other ways to actually reach the library, the virtual library, and research aspect. And now when it comes to research also, research is actually secluded to panels, and some people actually just support the people they know. I may want to do some research, but if I'm not linked to the panels currently in the university, I get not to have that opportunity. Anyway, why am I talking so much about what I didn't mean to? I want us to look at the different ministries that have been affected in the hacking process. Of course, currently, the State House is at under siege because so many ministries have been affected. And I want to just mention here those ministries that have been affected in the hacking process. And I'll play a clip here before, so that I look for credibility anyway. The reason why we play these clips is to create credibility in our videos before we talk about it. So let's watch this.
I've woken up to a couple of websites, government websites hacked, particularly very sensitive websites. there might be more, but what you're seeing is education, health, and stuff like those. Could you tell us what this is about, who is doing this, and maybe establish what you know? Perhaps you know much more.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we all woke up to the shock of about 40 websites being defaced. So defacement is basically replacing the original website with something different. This particular hack was a redirection. So they redirected the normal pages of about 40 websites for .go.ke, which have been redirected to a message that a group of hackers have been, they seem to have taken over. There's so many speculations. We don't have a lot of proof yet. And this is where a lot of investigations have to come in. Either they took over a server, or they took over a firewall, or they actually defaced all of those websites. But to what you've seen in the past, for you to do such a mass defacement, you probably just compromise one particular server and redirecting all the others to that. So, in my opinion, I think might be a firewall hack.
Maybe tell me, are you picking up any patterns of the motive for this one?
So every hackers have various motives, so we can't pinpoint to exactly what motive, but we know when they're going to attack, right? Everybody have a reason. Some do it for fun, some do it for espionage, others do it for profit, right? Others do it. There's different motives that are out there. So this particular one, nobody knew it was going to happen today. That's why you have to be resilient and anticipate anything that could happen before it happens. We don't know. I mean, for the past few months, we've been seeing a lot of hacks, not just in Kenya, in other countries, neighboring countries, other continents as well. So hacks will always happen. It's always going to be new ones that are coming. People are going to try to show or flex some new style or kind of vulnerability. What is particularly unique to this particular hack is that we don't understand what is the motive. They just said coming when it comes to national intelligence or national security, for example, we need to actually start looking at the proactive part. Same, and when I say national intelligence, it's not just government, it's also organizations. There are many threat actors that are out there. They are looking for ways to be able to gain some level of power or for fun or for money. And we need to make sure that we are proactive enough.
All right, guys. I think you've clearly heard that. The Kenya government websites were hacked today in the morning as State House and Interior woke up. They realized that so many websites have been hacked. Jeusa Hamisi, I said hi to you. I don't know whether you saw, but I said hi to you. And welcome in the house, everybody. As we continue to discuss matters here, please subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you are a returning subscriber, you can like the video, comment, and drop, a like right there. Yeah, so of course, I want us to just go through details of the hacked systems. And remember, the cyber attack on state websites is a very serious matter. How safe are we as a country? Like we see currently the government trying to force all payments to be made through e-citizen. And so if we have attacks on state websites, what does that mean? Does it mean that you would have paid for services and the next day you will be declared not having paid? Or will the money be siphoned? Now, this is why some people are trying to ask whether it was an inside job where people are planning actually to steal from us and then come declare that because the websites were hacked, that is when money was stolen. And the Kenya government just confirmed to a cyber attack targeting several state websites by the government, by the group calling itself PCP at Kenya. All right. Yeah, so if you check at Capital FM, you'll see that information right there. Now, the platforms were temporarily inaccessible, but according to security agencies, the situation has been contained. Of course, they are saying contained, but we are not so sure about that, and the services have been restored. But up to now, you try to reach into maybe Kenya Water or health or something like that, it may not be possible, because by 12, when I wanted to start my sharing of this information, they were not being accessed. But the government will still say they have restored just to cool tempers down. Of course, a multi-agency incident report team the CIRT, the National Computer and Cyber Crimes Coordination, committee has been activated to investigate and secure the systems. I hope this is not just a swindle, a kind of plan that some people did so that they can steal and then declare something like this to fool us, Now, according to the government, they are enhancing layered defenses to detain, contain, and neutralize future cybercrime. How sure are we about this? Because this is not the first time we are seeing cyber attacks on government systems. And it's unfortunate that even the interior, like if they have attack ICT, and ICT department is the one that actually supplies information even to Ministry of Interior. How safe are we? That's my question. I keep asking, how safe are we as a country? Now, RUTO and cyber crime law. President RUTO actually has defended Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Amendment Act 2024, saying it's necessary for Kenyans. Yeah. He argued that the laws help cyberbullying, to reduce cyberbullying, hate speech, and online misinformation or disinformation. He also said, dismissed the criticism that people are holding against this as misinformation, that they are just ballooning about what that law or act means. How true is this? Have you attempted to actually understand what cybercrime law is all about? Now, the past hacks in government, we have seen e-citizen portal was once targeted, and yet it handles a lot of citizen data, including IDs, passports, business registration, and many more. And it was previously targeted, okay? According to ICT CS Eliud Owalo, the attack actually tried to overload the system, but no data was breached. How sure are we even about that? We are just told this is information we receive. We don't know. So the DCI, actually, that is the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, also had its social media accounts, the Facebook hacked, and it was used to promote a lot of what do you call it? Cryptocurrency scams. You remember? I hope you remember the time they were using the face of Raila Odinga. They were again using this guy, Chef Koinange, and who else? They were using their faces in cryptocurrency scams, which is unfortunate. Now, there were earlier rumors that KRA, that is Kenya Revenue Authority system, was hacked and 21 billion was stolen. But later on we saw KRA denying. I hope they didn't just deny to keep us quiet, but they were doing it genuinely. So what RUTO has not actually officially said in a delegate meeting that was happened, you actually realize that he's talking about education, he's talking about funding models, he's talking about the process in which the government is upscaling matters of immigration and refugees and all that. Okay, so I don't know. I need to really bring to books the videos right here. But a lot of ministries actually have been affected in the cyber war. Okay. Now it's a very dramatic, conspiracy kind of thing that I can't understand. Now some Kenyans don't understand how those possibilities had to happen. Like real cyber criminals. Are they testing on Kenya's patience? Even some were joking about it and saying, is it Museveni? Is it Museveni trying to test how safe Kenya is, or who exactly is doing it? Is it an inside job also? Maybe, just maybe, someone forgot to update a password from Kenya 123, or someone is deliberately messing systems to cover some shady transactions. People have been stealing of late, left and right in the government. And, scandals like hiding behind system failures are very common this is not only a situation happening in Kenya. That is something that we've seen happening all over the world. Okay, so when you look at, I just want to see this. Now I'm imagining how safe are our birth certificates. What about immigration system, government payment portals? Yeah, it's like even the hackers looked at our politics and said, hapa hakuna security, let's enter. Because politicians are left and right just campaigning left and right. They are not focused on ensuring the security of our country. And it's unfortunate, actually, when I look at the possibilities in this and the consequence. Yesterday I was listening at Museveni talking about our country ensuring that it's secure. And now when I see this today, I'm like, how secure are we? Yeah, we have the Indian Ocean with us. We have the air base with us. We have the the Magereza prisoners and the traffic and all that. But are we safe? Yeah, because waking up to find almost 40 websites, government websites, including education, health, they have been hacked, including ICT itself. It's unfortunate, right? Very unfortunate. And I don't know, because the other time, like, there is something here. I just want to check on this somewhere. Yeah, because we saw our own citizens in Uganda, and when they were held up for 38 days, all we could see in the government was a kick and pull, push, all that, as we kept waiting for whatever would unravel. There is something I'm looking for. I don't know whether I'm going to get it right away. Sometimes it is what it is. You plan to speak on something, it just disappears. But let me see. Let me see. How I wish I heard many people talking about this aspect of attacks, as far as the guy is telling us that they were not been proven and all that. I'm trying to check on something. Give me some time. Oh my God, I can't access this as fast as I thought. I can't access that, but meanwhile you can be playing back my video as I look for whatever I have to, because it's very necessary. Very necessary. When it comes to the security of our nation, I don't know why at some point you find that there are things that are not really towing the line as expected. All right, let's proceed as we wait upon that. As we wait upon that, I don't know what has happened. The network, the phone doesn't have. Oh. Look at that. A small disconnection affects everything. So you see the site, the website. When you get to a website, this is what you can see. Look, this is what it's writing. So if you go to the website, the government website, it's writing Hail Hitler, and you know that's abomination. Hail Hitler. You know, if you know, I talked about it recently in a social, when I was talking about the fact that Hitler really conducted a lot of Nazism and atrocities among the, a lot of people in Germany. And so when you see Hail Hitler, guys, it's not a very good statement to see. I don't know those who targeted these websites and attacked it, but those are very crucial government ministries have really suffered the cyber attack just yesterday. Is it yesterday? Today? Yeah? Today is Monday, right? Yeah. So the Citizen Digital has actually noticed that access to a majority of websites is inaccessible. And even you, when you try to reach some of these digital websites, you cannot access them. As far as we are being told from the government end that you can access it, it's unfortunate you can't. You can't. What they are giving you when you try to type is that message that I've shown you. I've tried to type into one of the websites, and that is the kind of message that is coming. That is the kind of message that is coming. Whatever it means, I don't understand this. Just at the moment when recruitment of the police officers is happening in Kenya, I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. So white power worldwide, cyber attacks are hitting websites and taking over even the president's portal. Yeah. So look at this. It was a Shutterstock totally. Yeah. On 17th of this November 25 morning. So several websites were actually affected. Even president.go.ke, the official site of the presidents, were hacked. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And they were rendered inaccessible. Other websites that were affected included the website of health, the website of education, the website of energy, the website of labor, the website of ministries of interior, you know? Yeah, and also state departments became inaccessible. Like immigration department, the Directorate of Public-Private Partnership, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, the Directorate of, I've talked about immigration, DCI, partnership and public-private partnership. Hustler Fund was also hacked. Government Press and Nairobi City County, they were affected. Can you imagine all those? Now the attackers made the websites inaccessible and defaced so that the pages were, they kept replacing it with some text information, and those attempts to log in actually could just simply tell you access denied by PCP, white power worldwide, hell, Hitler. Those were the messages that were coming out of the websites. So luckily, the National Police Service, Judiciary, Kenya National Examination Council, National Transport and Safety Authority, e-Citizen were not affected. Now I remember last year, a time like this, we went for an exercise, a national exercise, and again, the cyber attacks had been conducted such that even some people had lost money last year. Why does it happen almost November? I want to understand that again. Yeah? Yeah, so this is notifying us on some insecurity that we have to be aware of. Yeah? And of course, we need to take a lot of precaution and vigilance because these suspicious attacks, once they begin to happen like this, you will find so many things happening. People losing money, documents and all that, receiving funny calls, because even though Kenya is trying to invest a lot in digitizing services and making online platforms a central point of public access, this is very tempting for hackers. And the government said that intrusion violated several laws, which include cyber crime, data and protection, computer misuse, among many others. So I don't know whether this attack was meant to prove that that law was necessary because many people are challenging it, or whatever it is. Now remember, in 2023, the government also suffered again another attack on e-citizen platform, and they said that they were able to actually access over 5,000 government services from ministries, county governments, and agency, paralyzing processes. Now they indicated that this was a Sudanese hacker group that time, and they interfered a lot of things because Kenya was seen as also interfering with Sudanese operations. But I don't know. I just don't understand. I'm trying to battle around with information. That is why you are seeing me taking a lot of time on this aspect than I normally do. We've also seen, I think Kenya Communications Authority of Kenya actually said that they were also affected around September or July, around there. Yeah, and they said that they were explored so widely by vulnerabilities, but the detected cyber threat was actually attributed to inadequate system pathing and limited use of awareness of threat vectors such as phishing and social engineering technologies. Then in January 2027, again we saw the Communication Authority again showing that we had some attacks targeting healthcare, education, energy, utilities and financial services. But tuko sawa kweli kama taifa. I just don't know whether I should say that we are safe as Kenya when interior I've not imagined where a place whereby the interior DCI wenyewe wanakujiwa on cyber attack. How? Unless it is something which is being framed, because again, there is all chances that someone can frame an attack, just like a government can also frame a demonstration. It can frame an attack for whatever reasons. Of course, we understand what is happening currently in the country. We've seen so many situations where we think it's genuine and we find that it was framed to communicate a certain thing or acquire a certain interest. Anyway, away from that, I think we should get to talk about other matters. Now, ODM, is it an alliance about peace, or it is a piece? Yeah, a piece of the government, a piece of the budget, a piece of the chair near the president. Is it unity really? Or it is insurance, political insurance, because 2027 might surprise some people, like KCPE result or KCSE, Is it patriotism really? Or it's just mere partnership to protect each other from, audits? I don't understand. Okay? Yeah. So as ODM and UDA have exchanged stocks or cookies, I saw the cake eating as Anyang Nyong really swallowed the cake, Winnie and all that from RUTO. And on the other hand, we had Oburu giving Raila a cake, and I was like, what is happening? So somebody who is hacking the government services like they are browsing for second-hand shoes on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know, whatever that means. Yeah, it's so shocking. Anyway, yeah, but let's see. ODM and UDA are uniting because both sides fear something big that is coming. Do they fear the united opposition or the Gen Zs? A big report, a big audit, a big whistleblower, or what? Who knows? You know? But in Kenya, when enemies suddenly become best friends, someone somewhere must ask, what are they running away from? All of them, you know? What are they running away from? Okay, and I've asked many times, how safe are we? The answer is automatically not very safe. If hackers can enter government systems, imagine what they can do to your M-Pesa. Imagine what they can do to your hell-blown records. They might even reset it at 0.00 actually. Wait, that doesn't sound bad, does it? Let's see. So, I don't know what must be done. But let's check into something else before we get to see what must be done. Okay? So Cherigay is trying to say that Kindiki will be dropped automatically. And people talked about it long ago. You know, in Kenya we have a lot of prophets. Those who use philosophy, those who use logic, those who use religious fronts, those who actually use statistics. And one of the things they have talked about is that Kindiki will be dropped. Now Cherigay finally spoke about it, assuring Kenyans that Kindiki is going to be dropped very soon. Is it good or bad for the Mbere people? Of course, remember the opposition, united opposition is in Mbere, camping seriously to ensure that they get it. And now let's listen to this guy, Cherigay.
Tukienda negotiation na broad base, sisi tuko broad base, lakini kuna viti mbili hatuwezi ongelea kwa coalition, President William Ruto na Professor Kithure Kindiki. I want to tell them waombe zile viti vingine mpaka ya mzee ametaa. Lakini tukienda any negotiation in building a coalition going into the future of 2027 to 2032, the Deputy President of His Excellency Dr. William Ruto is Professor Senator
What are you trying to say? You are just confirming that he will be dropped because why are they planning for a negotiation even before election? That is something surprising. What are they planning to do? Is that why we are seeing the kind of hacking? Is that hacking in preparation to see whether the IEBC would also be hacked? I don't know. I don't want to speculate a lot. It's so tiring. It's so tiring that even before elections, kuna mtu tayari asha speculate wataenda negotiation. Na negotiation haitahusu kiti cha president wala vice president. So I'm like, what is happening here? What is happening? Yeah? I want to check on something more. Hey. Yeah, now we hope that the government will be restoring the hacked systems, and here is what Citizen is sharing. Let's just see. What are they saying here?
Time for Citizen TV Briefs. My name is EMBu. Let's get you informed on some of the stories making headlines across the country. Now, the government says it is restoring access to websites of key ministries that were rendered inaccessible earlier today following a coordinated cyber attack. Among those affected was the Ministries of Interior, Health, Education, Water and Labor, which have restrictions and are currently defaced. Attempts to log into the websites were met with an access denied by PCP. A video created then generates one-line message saying, "You're being lied to."
1488, Hail Hitler, we will rise again, and white power, world power.
So finally, the government released a press statement indicating they'll have to restore them. I don't know how, but it is what it is. Sometimes this just is a reckoning call. It's a reckoning call to us as citizens and maybe the leaders of the nation. Okay. Now let's see.
Welcome.
Let's see here.
Public law. And we have agreed that we are going to have a public participation law that is currently in Parliament. We got an advisory from the Supreme Court on the necessity to have a public participation law that makes sure that there is sufficient input from the public in a manner that is organized, in a manner that is orderly, so that we avoid unnecessary litigation and ensure that we carry the public along and we discharge our responsibilities of the requirements of citizens in a legal.
All right, looking at that, what the president has just said, it's clear that the government had to submit to Gen Zs as well. Remember when the Gen Zs were demonstrating from 2024 and later on 2025, they were demanding for public participation. Unfortunately, sometimes parties ride upon this because this is why I keep asking, why can't Gen Z have a party? A party that will only accommodate Gen Zs. A party that will only accommodate Gen Zs. If they see an age that is beyond Gen Z, they don't include them. Why? Because currently we have older people who are conservatists, but they are riding on the blood of Gen Zs. Now look at what has been said, public participation. Of course, public participation is partly there with us seeing ODM, for example. But then do we have a platform for the Gen Zs? Or will we see kazi kwa vijana being kazi kwa wazee? That is a reality that has not come to be actually pressed in the country. So we find that young people fight for space, and when that space is created, they are not occupying it. The people who occupy that space are very different. You know? That is something, I don't know whether people have looked and seen the reality about this. Okay? Yeah. So we've already gone into 1 hour and more minutes. But I wanted to share this one also, what Mother Kome actually spoke during the delegation meeting. Maybe we should get to that briefly.
Here this morning, you must be a miracle worker, and for this, we are absolutely grateful. Let me also say the judiciary of Kenya is honored to co-host this distinguished gathering of judges, jurists from across the globe. We in Kenya are proud to be a member of this vital international community, and we are delighted to provide a platform for the critical discussions that will unfold. I hope and invite our distinguished delegates to take this opportunity to extend your stay and sample what our Kenyan hospitality beholds. Beyond this conference, we invite you to visit our migration systems. Is also the bedrock upon which the safety, dignity, and rights of millions of people depend.
Yeah, so can you imagine, as the foreign delegate were meeting in Nairobi, allowing international visitors to come. That is the day when hacking is conducted. I'm trying to add 1+1 up to now. I'm trying to add 1+1 to understand why it happened, but I can't understand it so far. Yeah. I can't understand. So anyway, let's end here. I appreciate all of you for being on my channel. And thank you so much. We hope that the security of this website will be regained and that nothing will be lost from Kenyans. And I hope it was not just a way, a full game on us as Kenyans. Maybe let me prepare to do another live stream on a different level. Bye-bye, and thank you so much for now. God bless you.